I'm just gonna say, prayers up for DMX. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into that later on in the episode. But prayers up to DMX. Y'all already know me. Probably top 15, top 20 for me. Personal reasons. Core top 15.
I think I put him in the top 10, bro.
Top 10. That nigga.
He might be like 7, 8 for me.
Living legend.
Excuse me. The impact that I lived at. You know what I'm saying? I remember that DMX time. I was like, I wasn't the age I was for Big, where I was like a kid. I was a teenager. Yeah. Like shit, he was talking about I was trying to get pussy. You know what I'm saying? I was selling weed and I was experiencing different emotions towards my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was hitting every emotion at that
He hit all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Fighting with demons of knowing what the streets entail, but...
And then somebody we looked up to personally was such a fanatic of his.
Yeah.
That we had to pay attention to that.
Him.
Yeah, we had to embrace that music because he put it in your face regardless. Rest in peace to Herb, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we talk about that. Even if we didn't have the album where his apartment was and where we stayed,
and the type of his fucking sister he had.
Right, the vicinity we was in. Nigga, I was listening to it with
our back of our buildings, we lived right next to each other. The back of our back windows, we saw each other. We could talk to each other. And his was right there, and he had like the crazy
it's like
sister.
his window faced your window in my building.
It was shout out to the people we grew up with. It was me and Milagros. Then you had Jason and Brian. Then you had Amanda and Teresa.
Used to go to her grandmother's crib or something like that back there?
Both. Their crib? The grandmother was on top of mine's.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, right where mine was at. Then you had Jason and Brian, of course.
Because Amanda had...
And Eddie was on the other side.
In the front.
On the other side, yeah. And y'all too.
But we had the back crew where we used to talk and shit.
All hours of the night. Niggas is 9 o'clock, 9 years old and shit, talking at 2 in the morning. Mom's like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Screaming at each other through the window. Shout out to Maddie Block,
Shout out
man.
to Madison, man. But yeah, that's why DMX is so like revered to me, like,
and prominent.
Yeah,
to both of us.
Yeah, it's both of us. So
because it's not even a choice. It's like we absorb our environment.
He was a voice for us. So
especially that summer. What summer is that? 9,
7, 8.
Whatever summer.
A year or two after you got to the block.
Yeah, because I came in 9-6. What type of games being played? How it's going down?
That's the one after Flesh Him Up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one after that. I keep forgetting the name, but the one where he's sitting there like this.
Yeah, that was one of our greatest summers, bro.
That's football, baseball. Baseball in the morning, PAL, early times, get home, basketball, then football when the street lights come on.
Yeah,
smoking tea bags.
Smoking tea bags. We definitely was smoking tea bags before we...
Niggas trying to be grown, man. But, yeah, man, DMX, man, prayers to him, man. I hope you get well.
I hope we go through it.
And I'm not trying to like, read everything that's dropping, because niggas just dropping shit and then bringing it back, and then it's like, nah, give me time and then tell me what happened.
Well, I just hope he pulls through. And this changes his outlook on life.
I mean, his outlook probably good. It's just that disease that got implanted in him is something hard to fight.
That's the shit I'm talking about.
It's something hard to fight.
I shouldn't say that because his outlook on life is a beautiful one.
He always praying and he always, you know what I mean? He always giving it to the higher power. But it's just that demon that was implanted in him. Like we said, if you know his story, somebody did that to him, and it was like, damn, bro, I just wanted to smoke weed and rap and shit, and you laced my shit. You know what I'm saying? You fucked my whole life up, bro. Even though he got to where he got to still, because he's that strong of a soldier. You know what I'm saying? He's that strong of a human. But it's still affecting him to this day, man. That shit is fucked up, bro. Love that nigga, man.
Yeah, I love Earl, man.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, pray it up, like I said. He gonna be good. He gonna be good. We got to it, but we got to it. Fuck it, man. Sometimes it grabs your soul, you know what I'm saying, to talk about people that you feel.
Remember
like
a time where
something.
the argument was who was better, him or a hoe?
Yeah.
Remember when that was the...
And it was never, it was never no real, like, argument. It was always, like, somebody would say, and then, like, me and you, whole fans would be like, alright. But Hov did this, though. Because you got to try to combat with something. Cove was more commercial, but then you can't say that because DMX was commercial as well. And then they was just as raw with the lyrics, you know what I'm saying? And then when you got to see the battle, it was like, oh,
I don't even call him commercial. I think people just gravitated
his shit just
to
crossed
shit,
over.
and it crossed over like, DMX, baby, you gotta go and get it, baby, you with it, and you gotta do it.
I'm not making this for no white kids.
But you want, but it's, for humans, it's not the rhythms. See, the rhythms is what we react to because that's our heritage and our culture. But it was his tone, it was his approach, it was his bark that made people move.
He looked like a human dog, like he was hungry, like he wanted whatever he was going
had
for.
arenas barking, bro.
Then to have the perfect matchup to have Swiss beats to give you those type of hype beats.
100,000 people barking.
What? Nigga, wasn't he Woodstock? Yeah, the whole world did, like basically. That shit was like 10 million people, son.
Rock that shit.
Rocking to DMX in a fucking, in the overalls, the
they never do that. That's my, that's my pops, but he ain't never do that, bro. That shit still touches me down. You know what I'm saying? So I wish him the best, man. Him and his family.
That's a fact.
I keep thinking of the Help Me Ayama episode with this shit, man. Like every time some shit happens with him with drugs, I always revert back to that. Cause I'm somebody, I don't have sympathy for people, but I feel bad sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you have, knowledge of what you're doing to self, how can I feel bad?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when your son is begging you to stop, and you're like, man, that's what I do. And people laughed at that.
And it's crazy because
But if he dies, then it's not funny no more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's the shit I always talk to you about. Not like Prince. Niggas made fun of Prince, but when Chaps with his ass out, Michael Jackson was a pedophile till the day he died.
He gone.
Right. Then when they do the Neverland shit, you got everybody like, yo, this is bullshit, because he's gone. But where was that energy when he was alive?
Yeah, he was supposed to support him. He was supposed to hold him down. And he was doing a lot for your community, for your people. You know
I don't speak ill on the dead, but I like to point out the ills and the ones that are still living.
It wasn't like, yeah, at least like show some. I mean, I understand people have their vices. You know what I'm saying? People do what they do.
Everybody does.
But if they like such a big person like these people we talk about, and they are doing certain shit, like sometimes you should at least be like, all right, they doing this, they doing that in their spare time, but they doing this. You know what I'm saying? You can't always hold people to a certain standard, bro. Like, I learned that shit throughout my life. You know what I mean?
You gotta let them be who they are. You either love them for that or you don't, and leave it be.
That's a fact. That's a fact. If you love somebody, you love somebody unconditionally. That's how it should be. Yeah, that's how it should be. Like, I don't like certain shit that you do, but I love you, bro. And when it comes down to it, I'm gonna be standing right behind you. You know what I'm saying? So.
That's vice versa for me. That's vice versa for me and you, bro.
Yeah, that's how it go with both of us. I see certain shit you do. I'll tell you.
Nigga be like, yo, Corey, you was bugging. I was?